Hey, 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 it's your girl Tiffany Satchel, your 1111 coach. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. And I also want to thank you for supporting me on my Patreon page. I really do appreciate it because this is definitely going to help me to serve my clients better because I'm looking forward to engagement and some feedback on my EFT for Wealth course from my Patreons. Make me better, help me with my content. Okay, so let me know, some of the things that you face. All right, some of the things that you might be going that you might be dealing with in your own life, so that I can make EFT vids for you. All right, and we can get a conversation going on, so that then I can improve my technique. All right, so this would definitely help me improve my technique. So what we're going to talk about today is EFT for truth with imagery. All right, so I did there's a couple of vids up on the timeline now. One for EFT for divine truth. That's a 60-second EFT. And then also there's another EFT for guilt. Okay, and there's EFT for to do what you love. Now this is EFT for truth with imagery. Okay, this is EFT for truth with imagery. All right, and the intention is to align with divine truth using EFT and the 72 names of God. Okay, we're going to use EFT and the 72 names of God. All right, so what I did was I took the liberty of putting the links to the book. I don't have the book in front of me right now, but I do have my cards, okay? And I'm going to make sure that I put a picture of I'm going to make sure that I put a picture of each symbol in this document in the link in the link. There's a PDF. All right, so each symbol that I suggest for you to use, okay, whenever I post a vid for whenever there's a vid up, there will be a PDF attached to it. And if there's imagery in it, then there will definitely, the symbol will always be in the document. Okay, I will always make the symbol available to you. All right, so now this is the symbol that we're going to work with today, and that's going to definitely be in the document for you to work with. Okay, so that you can look at, and you can also print it out. You might want to put it up on your wall. All right, so that is the intention today. All right, so now let's start off with what is truth. Okay, and it is the absolute, that which reveals and is in accordance with the divine will, excuse me, with the will of the divine as the governing principle of life. Truth is eternal, the same today as yesterday. The fullness of truth related to divine exists at the core of every living being. The basic principle of truth is that the mind of every individual is unified with divine mind eternally. As individual awareness expands and embraces the concept of divine truth, un, understanding unfolds. Okay, so now why are we talking about divine truth? The reason why we're talking about divine truth is because we want to align with our perfect self-expression. All right, in order to do that, we need to tap into our divine core frequency. How can we do that? All right, we have to align with our higher and wiser self. How can we do that? We have to come to the divine in spirit and in truth. So this month is going to be all about truth, 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 truth. Okay? Truth, truth, truth. All right? Truth is one of the highest vibrations, and in fact, it's actually multi-leveled when speaking in reference to persons. What is true for one is not always true for the whole, and that's just basically because of experience. Okay, so what is true for a 3-year-old is not true for a 13-year-old or a 30-year-old. And what happened for me when I sat down, all right, and I started, and I was doing my EFT, and I wanted to find out what exactly was blocking me from attracting clients. And not only when they did come, how can I connect with them and help them? All right, and I was like, what is blocking me from doing this? And it was the guilt that I was carrying concerning my son and some of the things that went on with my son in the past. And the first thing that came up was how I taught my son to lie. All right, and I have a nice story. I actually put that story in the document for you, so you can take a look at if you want. And I also think I have it posted up on my timeline if you don't feel like reading and you just want to listen. But it's all there for you. Okay, so, and it was basically, I was carrying guilt, for, my son's like 19 years old now, and there's still some things that I wish I would have done better, but I didn't realize how much guilt was like so much guilt of not being the perfect mother was affecting me on being a coach. Because if I couldn't mother my own child, I'm sure, like there's like this part of me that's like, if you couldn't do that for your own kid, who you dearly, dearly, dearly love, how are you going to help these other people? Well, I'm not the same person that I was when I had my son. You know, I was about 17 years old when I had my son. And now I'm almost 40. You know, yesterday was my birthday. So I just turned 38. So I have a totally different mind. I have a totally different respect, you know, for life, you know, than I did before. And not to say I didn't respect life before, just that I was extremely inexperienced and I was young, you know, and I took a lot of things for granted, you know. And now I'm older, and when I reflect back, I wish I would have made better decisions, you know. And unfortunately, sometimes with that, you know, with looking back, you know, it can actually, you know, affect you in the future, you know, constantly looking back is not good. And you don't want to look too forward either. You always want to be in the now. So you always want to be present in now. So you always want to ask yourself now questions. Am I okay right now? Am I safe right now? Am I cool right now? You know, what's going on right now? Because that was yesterday and that's over with. You know what I mean? So the only way that it could affect you now is if you allow it to affect you now. All right. So how can we align with our divine truth? We all have done things in our past that we wish that we could take back. And the universe, the creative creation, God always gives us do-overs. God doesn't punish us. We punish ourselves. We are living in a point of attraction world. What we give out is what we receive. When we judge ourselves harshly, we bring on unnecessary punishment. When we are in our truth, we are our most powerful. Low vibrating emotions cause misalignment. The one thing to remember is that you are always forgiven, you are always loved, and you do belong. There's nothing wrong with you. You are learning and you just need to practice. That's it. All right? So, what you want to do is you want to be honest with yourself and others. And at times, I can admit it. It isn't easy to be totally honest all the time. And even when I intend to be lovingly truthful, others still misunderstand me. What if you don't want to unnecessarily hurt someone's feelings? It's not always easy to spare the feelings of others. Sometimes it's not healthy, and you could be doing more harm than good if you're not straightforward and truthful. We should at least be willing to be as honest with ourselves as much as we possibly can, and aim to be open enough to hear the loving truth from others as well. Now, this I completely understand. Fear of speaking out and hearing the truth. What a huge hindrance this has been on my path. Let me tell you. All right. The emotion of fear is one of the main reasons so many are struggling financially. Not to mention, it blocks one from powerfully aligning with their truth and accessing the blessings allotted for each and every one of us every day, no matter what. All right. And I'm gonna start sharing Bible scriptures and stories as well to help to support us on our journey, you know, in our daily lives. Okay. Another thing that you want to know that you want to be aware of that is that your appreciation of everything that you have in your life connects you to source immediately. All right. So now low vibrating emotions such as fear, anger, depression, and sadness, along with negative action, robs us of our spiritual light and impairs our ability to connect to our divine source. This wreaks havoc on our consciousness, okay, and hinders us from living our highest and best life. Our ability to manifest abundance, engage in healthy, loving relationships are hindered as well, and everything in life becomes a struggle. We feel alone, and we might even begin to isolate ourselves. I know I do that. I've done that. Our perceptions in life turns gloomy, and we stop appreciating the little things in life that mean so much. Then, to bring us back into alignment, we wind up having to lose something near and dear to our hearts to bring us back to the light. Greeting and meeting each day with love and appreciation ensures that we not only receive our daily blessings, but that we also retain what we already have. We will also be able to easily align powerfully with our truth and live as abundant and wealthy as we desire. Okay. I'd love to get some feedback on that. You know, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to place your questions in a comment. This is for tier 22 and up, so it's not like the whole world can see it. The only ones that can see it are the ones that are in this tier with you, okay, and higher. But I think that is all love. I think that it's all love. I don't think I think everyone that joins my Patreon are here for the same reasons. Like, we want to do what we love. We want to vibrate high, and we want to be we want freedom. We just want to be able to fully express ourselves. Okay. every single day, because that's how you're gonna feel content and joyful and happy and blissful. If you could fully express yourself all the time, and you're not always walking around on eggshells and fearful. Okay. So now let's talk about using symbols. All right. So during my practice to align with my divine truth, the very first emotion that I mentioned before that came up for me was guilt. All right. And it was because of all the mistakes that I made with my son. So now how could I come to peace with these emotions caused by my own miscreation? It's not easy to venture into those kinds of emotions. All right. It doesn't feel safe. And most of the time we aren't prepared to handle it anyway. So what can we do when we know that we know that we know we can't handle the truth? Okay. Well, ignoring those feelings are not the answer either, because the issue will just get louder until we face it. And everything is mental. So we can use symbols to change our experiences and attract our desires. In fact, this is how the masses are being controlled every day with ads, signs, and billboards, because it works. So what if we had access to a technology that did just that? What if we could bypass the process by opening up to it, welcoming it with the tools to succeed in transmuting our miscreations to miracles? All right. There is technology out there. And I actually know of 3 techniques that go straight to the source for the correction effectively. All right. The first one requires a financial investment, which means you'll have to be willing to invest in yourself, and which means that it's going to cost. All right. And it's called the best technique. And I actively use this technique, and I can refer you to the healer that I use. All right. I highly recommend her. Just connect with me. And I highly recommend that you couple the best technique with the tapping. Okay, because see what the best technique is going to do is going to clear your slate, and the tapping is going to keep you in alignment with your divine core frequency. All right, because after she does her clearing, you can always go back and pick up the same shit. All right, so the tapping will keep you in line so that you don't go pick back up that same bullshit ass stick that you was beating before. Okay, because she's going to clear you from it, but you can always shift, you can always go right back to that old way of thinking. And the tapping will help you to constantly not have to do that. You'll keep directing your energy to go. Well, I'm gonna show you I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you how our energy works. I'm going to do some vids about that, but constantly tapping, constantly keeping your mind focused on success will ensure that the technique that you did with the best technique that you have will fully permeate your entire system. All right. So the tapping will help you to do that. All right. So it's almost like when you go to the chiropractor to get your back realigned. All right. So now the best technique is like getting your energy field aligned. All right. It's almost like getting your energy realigned. All right. And it's really cool. It's a really, really, really cool procedure, and I do recommend it. So, if you want more information about that, then just connect with me. All right. So now the second technique that I absolutely love is called A Course in Miracles. Okay, and I also put a link to that book in the PDF doc if you want to go purchase that book. Okay, you can always study and practice this on your own. All right, so that makes it extremely inexpensive. The book is like under $20. It might only be like $15. All right, and there's tons of groups out there that you can study this book with. In fact, I'm in a group right now. It's called the Enlightenment Circle. It's a great group. I've been in this group for maybe like 2 years now, and we actively use A Course in Miracles. Okay, so if you want more information about my group, then please schedule a complimentary session with me at tiffanySatchel.com. Okay. And the third one can also be done on your own until you attract the healing module and teacher best for you. All right. And it's called the 72 Names of God. All right. And let's talk about what the 72 Names of God is. All right. It's not names in a traditional sense. All right. It's actually symbols. All right. And it's a series of 3 Hebrew symbols that they're not even pronounceable. All right. They're not even pronounceable. All right. It's just like a series. If you can see, if you can see, there's a series of 3 symbols. And don't worry, because I'm gonna have a pic. If you want, you can just go right to the document. There's a picture of it in the document anyway. Okay, and these names are activated visually. Okay, they're activated from you looking at them. Okay, the Hebrew name for the letter means pulse. The Hebrew name for letter means pulse or vibration. All right, so each one of these symbols has a certain vibration. Okay, they carry a certain vibration, and when you look at the symbol, the spiritual energy from it transfers to you. Okay, I could now if you're an energy person like me, if you hold your hand up, I can actually feel the heat from I can feel the heat from the card right on the center of my hand. And it's like, since the symbol is so little, it's like really like, it's like really exact in my palm. I could just feel the like a little heat right here because the symbol is so small, but there's energy coming off from this symbol. All right. And you don't have to worry about being a specific religion, okay? This is a revolutionary tool that anyone can use, just like EFT. And it's safe for kids too, all right? And it's a practical and easy way to connect to your divine core frequency and create change in your life. Okay, so now how do you use it? Each God name or symbol or sequence of letters represents 3 forces: a positive charge, a negative charge, and a ground wire. All right, the symbol carries a specific spiritual current of energy directly from the divine source of all, the creative creation, God. All right, when you focus on it, the source of all transmits the spiritual energy necessary for your condition or your ailment or your situation directly to you. All right, now to activate this power, all that's needed is a conviction in the power, okay? The proper name necessary to resolve your issue, and a physical follow-up action. This means either a demonstration must be expressed immediately if possible, or a small test will arise to eradicate the nuisance from your life by inflaming your ego, which isn't very fun most of the time. All right, which is probably why you began your spiritual journey anyway, because you wasn't having fun. And you was like looking at life and you was like, I know it could be better than this. Let me try spirituality. And I'm happy that you did. All right. So for a more peace-filled and abundant life, this is why most of us get into spirituality, right? So that's why I decided to teach this technique with my clients. It's a new and improved way to raise your frequency, EFT with imagery. Okay, and you, like I said, I have links to the book, and also to the meditation cards in the document if you would like. And then next I go into what is EFT and what it's not, and you can check that out. If you've been working with me for a while, then you already know what it is and what it's not. All right, so I'm not going to go over that again. But I'm going to talk about EFT and imagery to raise your frequency. All right. This amazing antidote works with coupling spiritual power and a follow through physical action. The symbols operate like a cable, transmitting spiritual energy into the physical world. As long as you have the correct name for whatever you would like to resolve, faith is needed, and usually a small test would appear to clear the nuisance from your life. However, what if you don't believe in these names? Then immediately your ego would flood your mind into believing that it's silly and it won't work when it's working and it's been working for others for years. And what if your situation is a strong fear? What if what if what if your situation revolves around a strong fear? Then you want to prepare yourself in advance for when it shows up. Like my dad used to say, you got to stay prayed up. You can do this by coupling this technology with EFT. See, with EFT, you don't have to believe what you're saying or even in the technique itself. It works by moving the energy through your energetic system to remove the blockages and clearing up stagnant and blocked energies by tapping on specific meridians along with the body and reciting strong statements of intention to transmute a situation or condition. Okay? All right. So, like I said, you do now, in order for this to work, right, you do have to have some level of faith in the technology. However, if you know that, all right, look, I kind of don't believe in these symbols, Tiff, then that's why you're coupling it with the EFT, because you're just gonna practice. You're gonna train your energy to believe that this works. In the meantime, you'll be tapping, right? So it's practice, practice, practice until you get past that gatekeeper and you say, no, I'm gonna trust that maybe this could work. Maybe this could work, and I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on going. All right, and you just keep on looking at the symbol and looking at the symbol and looking at the symbol, and you're going to see it. These symbols work. These symbols work. Okay, and coupling it with the EFT, I guarantee. Coupling it with the with the EFT, I guarantee that you experience. I guarantee that you experience movement, some type of shifts, something. As long as you're doing it, as long as you're practicing it. Okay. Okay. So now, how do you get started? I apologize for my phone ringing. So now, how do you get started? First, you would choose a symbol that best describes your current situation or condition that you require spiritual support. All right, so you want to be alone in a space where you can be comfortable and focused. All right, and you want to be sure to drink a lot of water. All right, so now the first one that we're going to begin with is guilt. All right, because that's the emotion that came up for me. And like I said, please share with me the emotion that comes up for you after you practice it, because we're going to work on guilt, right? But another emotion might show up for you, and I would love to do an EFT for that. Okay, all right. So we're going to work with guilt. Okay, so now if you're feeling guilt about something, then you can use this technique right now. Use this vid to banish that guilt. To just get past those past memories, because they're holding you up in life. All right, they're holding you up at night. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to bring into your mind something that you feel the emotion of guilt towards. All right, and you're going to sit in those feelings for a bit so that you can get a clear understanding of the inner conversation that's going on around your guilt. All right, and you want to write that down in your journal. You want to write down in your journal the entire conversation that unfolds when you reflect on this past memory. All right, and then you'll tap on the specific points to get that negative conversation out of your head. Okay, so you're gonna write down everything, and then you just tap as you're reading the thoughts that pour out. All right, as you're reading, whatever poured out that you wrote down in your journal, you'll just be tapping. You'll just be tapping. Okay, and so how do you so let's say that you sit down, right, and you say, okay, let's say that you wake up in the morning and you do your EFT for truth. All right, and you sit down, right? So you're gonna do the EFT for truth, and you sit down and you do your meditation, and then a feeling of fear comes up, or a feeling of shame comes up. All right, and you're gonna ask your energy, why do I feel this way? And your energy is gonna, and your mind, your memory is gonna bring right to your memory. All right, you're gonna say, why do I feel like this? Where's it coming from? It's gonna bring right to your memory. Write all that down. All right, so you're gonna recall. That's the first thing. So you want to recall the issue. Okay, recall it. All right, and you want to get into those emotions. All right, you need to feel how you feel. Okay, how do you feel about it? All right, whatever it is that you're feeling. Now in respects to guilt, here's the process. The next thing that you want to do after you recognize what the issue is, if guilt is there, then you immediately need to repent. Okay, you're gonna repent for yourself. You're gonna confess to yourself. Okay, which means that you have to admit what you did wrong. Okay, you're only going to take responsibility for what you did. All right, and if possible, then if you can handle it, then you want to go to those involved. You also want to confess to them, and like I said, only if you can handle it, and you're only taking responsibility for the part that you played in it. All right, there's no reason to judge yourself or anyone else that's involved. All right, you're just confessing for the part that you played. And then third, you want to reflect. And the reason why you want to reflect is because you want to become aware of the thought patterns and the behaviors that you carry that actually attracted this situation into your life. Okay. And you also want to come to grips, maybe that was the only course of action that you had to take, and maybe you did take the highest and best road. It might have resulted in misalignment or a miscreation, but that was the best thing for you to do at that time. And you have to, fourth, forgive yourself. Accept what happened, forgive yourself, and move on. Okay? And this could take anywhere from 30 minutes or more to complete. Just be patient with yourself, and trust me, it works when you work it. All right. So now if you definitely want to see change in your life, then you're gonna do this. All right, you're gonna do this work. Like I said, this is where the imagery part comes in after you've recognized the issue. So that's after you've done your EFT for divine truth. After you either did the 60-second, so you do your 60-second EFT for the day, and then you go on about your day, right? And then you come back home, and now before you go to bed, you sit down and you do your EFT for truth, right? And you do your meditation, and then all these feelings come up about something. That's whatever that feeling is, then you're going to look for the symbol. Okay, you're going to look for the symbol after that. Okay, and then when you find the symbol, you're just going to after you find the symbol, then you want to gauge. Okay, now you want to gauge your resistance. You want to give it a number. Okay, so anywhere from 0 to 10 on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no feeling or resistance at all, and 10 being high emotional, like high emotions and tons of resistance. All right, you want to take note of that gauge after you before you begin your EFT, and after you complete your EFT as well. Okay, so you're going to recognize what the issue is. You're going to choose a symbol to help to go along with resolving whatever issue that you have. Okay, and then you're going to sit down and you're going to come up with an EFT recipe. All right, and that recipe is going to consist of the thoughts that you are having, all the negative thoughts that you're having around whatever came up. Okay, now for this demonstration purposes, we are going to use the emotion of guilt. Okay, so now you want to take a gauge, on how guilty that you felt. Now, when I first did that, I can say that it wasn't that much. It was actually under 5 when I first realized it, because I was actually sitting down and meditating already. And when it came up, it wasn't that much. But then the next day, just me sleeping on it, it was heavy. It was heavy. So then it was about like a 7. Okay, so now it's back down to about like a 5. All right, because I have been working on this content for a minute, and working with divine truth, and working with the symbol of guilt to make the course. So so I can say that it did drop, but I would like to get it. I would like to get that down to 3 or 0 if I can. So I'm going to continue working with this symbol. All right. So now, if you have something that that you feel ashamed with in the past, or something that you feel embarrassed about, then you definitely want to do this as well. Okay, so I would do that, and then of course I would do a positive round, which I'm going to show you in another vid. All right, so now this is part 1 of EFT for imagery. Okay, so now the actual EFT script to go along with this is going to be on another vid. Okay, so after I do the negative round, I will gauge where my feelings are, where like how much resistance did I have to just thinking those thoughts. All right, and 9 times out of 10 it's gonna go up. Okay, it's gonna go up. And the positive round is actually going to shift that energy. It's actually going to make that energy more harmonious. Okay, you're going to stop the negative attraction. All right, and then you'll receive whatever spiritual antidote that you need. You're going to usher it in through the law of attraction. Okay, because we already have the symbol. All right, so you will be infused with the symbol. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you how we use the symbol, right? Because I haven't even gotten to that yet. But and I will do my positive round of tapping, and I'll show you that in another vid, so don't worry. Okay, and I will gauge after I do my positive round. Okay, and then next is when I would use the symbol. Okay, so now that's after I do my tapping. After I do all my tapping, now I'm going to sit down, and now I'm going to add the symbol to my to my ritual. Okay. So now, what you want to do is you're going to take a deep inhale. You're going to make sure that you're centered, and then you're going to look at the symbol. And there's an affirmation that goes with the symbol, and it's different from the book. From what they have in the book and what they have on the cards are different. So that's why I have both, and they both seem effective. Like they both, I like them both. So you can always choose which ones, which affirmation that you want. You can combine them if you want, but you definitely want to use the meditation that they have for the symbol. All right, and I would and I have I offered something for you to use as well in the document. You can take a look at that. I also have some other names, additional God names that you could work with when you want to align with divine truth. Some other things that came up for me was God name number 25. I'm using with that. Speak your mind, and that's when you need to hear the truth and speak the truth with love and grace. Okay, that's another symbol that you might want to use. Also, God name 63, appreciation. And this is to keep your blessings and to attract even more. Okay, so you want to use that name. That might be another symbol, that you might want to use. If you start to feel like if you feel the feeling of ungratefulness come up, then you definitely want to use the name appreciation. That was also something that I noticed in my when I was lining up with divine truth, that I had some ungratefulness going on up in there. All right. And I also had a lot of fear about speaking my mind, about speaking my truth, about really allowing people to know that I know stuff, and just always sit in the back and just listening but not really saying what I know. So I'm working on that, because a lot of times, I don't really like to. I don't know. I don't know. I'm working on that. I need to speak my truth more. And then also was, hearing the truth about myself from others. It's not always easy for me. I'm a Leo. Like I told you yesterday was my birthday. I'm a Leo. It's not always easy for me to hear people tell me negative things about myself. So that was something else that came up. And then um God name number 59, the umbilical cord. When you allow low emotions to get the best of you. Because sometimes something could happen. Somebody could do something and they don't even know they hurt my feelings. They can hurt my feelings, and I'll carry it for like days. So that was something else, unforgiveness. Okay. Unforgiveness, and just holding on to low emotions. Okay. So these are some of the other names that you also want to work with. Okay. So that's the entire document. That's how I use EFT and the 72 names of God. Okay, so this was part one. All right, so I'm going to end the vid now, and I'm going to make another vid for you now with just the script. Okay, all right, and I love you with that God kind of love. So I'll see you in the next vid.